What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is yours truly, Fitz. How you guys doing? Hope you're having an awesome day. And in the dark room, we're going to talk about the Premier Cup, even though I'm cutting it off right here. The Premier Cup. The Premier Cup is coming in the Master League, exclusively non-legendary mythical Pokemon only. Don't let that fool you. There are going to be some main Pokemon similar like Dialga and is it Altered Form Giratina? Origin Form Giratina. Altered Form is pretty common too, actually. In the Master League, there are going to be common Pokemon in the Premier Cup as well. So, without further ado, thanks to Ryan Swag, aka Swag Tips, he actually made this pretty good infographic about the Premier Cup. I haven't seen one yet, so we're going off this one. You can find it at Game Press. So let's go over the reasons why and the moves you want to run on this main meta, and then I have some off-meta picks that could really do pretty well against some of these Pokemon as well. First off, without further ado, Togekiss. Togekiss is people are going to run this Pokemon, so you very clearly have to have at least one Pokemon, if not two, that can handle Togekiss just fine. You're not going to find very many Mamos, you're not going to find very many Glaceons, and you're probably not going to find any maxed out Gardevoirs. Especially when they're Shadow, because that's the best one. Apparently, the non-Shadow Gardevoir is okay, but it's squishy. It does not take the damage. It can deal it, but it can't take it. And in Master League, that's not good, because Pokemon are dealing a massive amount of damage per shot. So Togekiss, obviously you want to run Charm. Ancient Power Flamethrower is what you want to run. You could run Aerial Ace, but it's really not affecting this meta, as you can see here. Mamoswine, if you are going to go with it, you want Powder Snow, Ancient Power, and actually, excuse me, Bulldoze, because Bulldoze is going to take care of these Steel Boys over here, and also maybe some Fire types that you can come across. Also Rhyperior. So you want Bulldoze, and then obviously you want Avalanche. That takes care of Dragonite, Togekiss, Garchomp. Big time on Garchomp, and stuff like that. So Togekiss for sure is going to be something you're going to see and you want to be prepared for. Let's go over the dragons. You know, Gyarados is a good dragon counter with Dragon Breath, countering very well against Swampert and Garchomp. Also a good counter against Dragonite itself, because you're doing super effective damage to it while it is not doing super effective damage to you. Also a good counter against Charizard if you were to come up against one, or even the other fire types too, but be careful of Arcanine, because Arcanine does have Wild Charge and it can hurt really bad. It'll one-hit KO your Gyarados. Dragonite is just a staple, good mass amount of damage with Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw if you're in a neutral matchup, and if you look here, there's not many of those. You've got Snorlax. I guess you could argue Gyarados, but Gyarados is probably going to win that matchup. Also, I guess you could say it's going to be good against the fire types. Obviously, it's not going to do very good against Mamo. It's not going to do very good against Togekiss, Glaceon, Gardevoir. No, it's going to do okay against Garchomp. That's a pretty solid matchup. Not so much against Rhyperior, although you're going to do mass damage. You're going to have to burn some shields, though, unfortunately. And it always does well against Swampert. Not against the Steel Boys, though. Snorlax is an interesting choice, because it has so much viability. It depends on how you want to run it. You can run Outrage to cover some dragons and some heavy neutral damage. You could run Superpower to super effective damage to Magnezone, and also Mamoswine or Ice types, even though, like I said, I don't think you're going to come across, but Superpower to, you know, counter Rhyperior, Earthquakes and whatnot to count. Alexa, stop. You could run Earthquake to kind of one-hit KO some of these Pokemon, especially the Steel Boys. It's very interesting, the moves that you can put on Snorlax, and until the meta kind of opens up, I would hold off on giving any moves to Snorlax. Notice it says Body Slam always. I'm not so sure. I could see why that's the case, because you could spam Body Slams to bait shields. So then again, I kind of believe that, because baiting shields is very important, but then again, it does matter when you're bringing in your Snorlax. If you hold it towards the end for a game-winning Pokemon, then Body Slam might not be what you need. It depends on how you run your team. Garchomp Swampert right here, we kind of all know what the best movesets are for these. If you're unaware, Swampert obviously is going to run Mud Shot with Hydro Cannon and Earthquake. Garchomp, you want to run Mud Shot as well. You can run Sand Tomb. Sand Tomb is really good for baiting shields because you could charge up a Sand Tomb and an Outrage at the same time. Use Sand Tomb, your opponent thinks it's Outrage coming, and they shield, and then you still have all that energy left to get an Outrage. So that's a really good moveset to run. Rhyperior, Mud Slap, Superpower, and Rock Wrecker. Rock Wrecker can one-hit shot Togekiss. Seriously, one-hit KO. Same thing against a Dragonite, it's just going to be a one-hit KO. Same thing with the Gyarados, it's just going to be a one-hit KO. It hurts way too much. And Superpower would be good against Magnezone, good against any Ice types, good Pokemon. Now, one thing I do want to mention, and this is important, you could run Smackdown on Rhyperior. Why? Hear me out. Super effective damage against Togekiss. You're gonna come in contact with them. Super effective damage against these flying types. Super effective damage against the fire types. It's interesting to think about, but you're not doing super effective damage against the Steel Boys. That is the issue. If you have something else on your team to take care of these, you could be okay. You could get away with Smackdown. But I don't know. It's very tricky. Because in this league, your quick move is going to be important in dealing damage. So just keep that in mind. Apparently Shadow Magnezone is the best if you can swing it. If not, it's okay. But Shadow Magnezone is the best. You'd run Spark, Mirror Shot, and Wild Charge. And then Metagross, obviously, Bullet Punch with Earthquake and Meteor Mash. The Flame, we pretty much know the best movesets for these. You know, Charizard, Dragon Claw, and Blast Burn, Solar Beam and Blast Burn, and then Arcanine would be Crunch and Wild Charge, in my opinion. No, excuse me, Flamethrower. Flamethrower and Crunch. No. Flamethrower and Wild Charge, here's why. Flamethrower takes care of the steals, no problem. Wild Charge takes care of Togekiss, Gyarados, but it doesn't take care of these. So, as you can see, Arcanine's a niche. It's really a niche. So what are some Pokemon from the rest of the generations that we have out that could do well against this league? Honestly, one of them is Tyranitar. We already know Tyranitar is a beast with its stats, but it's its moves that can make things interesting. Obviously, Bite and Crunch is going to absolutely melt Metagross. I think this is a Pokemon you're really going to see a lot of. And if you're in a kind of a neutral matchup, sort of, you're going to do pretty good against Dragonite as well. Also, same thing goes with Garchomp. If you're going up against a neutral kind of matchup, you're going to do pretty well. It's going to take a long time to get your Crunch off, but when you're getting Bite off so fast and dealing so much damage, it's going to just melt these Pokemon. And a Metagross counter is something that is going to be important to have. It's going to be similar to seeing it like Dialga. People are going to be running Metagross and Togekiss on their team without a doubt, 100%. Does that mean you should run a Tyranitar? Not necessarily, but a lot of us have some maxed out Tyranitars. So when the meta starts, shaping up, we get to see these team compositions. This Pokemon might have a place. Would you lead with it? I'm not so sure, because Togekiss leads are going to be pretty heavy. And that brings me into the next Pokemon, Scizor. Scizor is only weak to fire. Will we see fire types in this league? Maybe not so much. You give it Bullet Punch, Iron Head, Night Slash. Bullet Punch is taking care of any of these Pokemon at the top. It's also taking care of Rhyperior. It's not doing so much against the Steel types, but that's fine. And then obviously Night Slash is going to do just fine against Metagross. It's going to do just fine against anything else. You have that chance to buff your attack stat. And then also Iron Head is going to pretty much almost one-shot Togekiss because you want to get it out of there, and you know that's going to be a common Pokemon to see. Excadrill is absolutely not worth doing. Next up's Hippowdon. There's really no grass types. There is some ice and water types, but it's the moves that makes Hippowdon pretty interesting. Should you max one out? Not so soon, but here you go. Thunder Fang, Ice Fang, Fire Fang, Bite, Body Slam, Earth Power. So you want to run Body Slam and Earth Power. Now the Fangs depends on what you're trying to cover. If you go with Fire Fang, you're taking care of the Steel Boys. That's great. But you're not taking care of anything else. That could be an issue. If you go Thunder Fang, you're taking care of Togekiss and Gyarados. You're not really taking care of anything else. And if we go with Ice Fang, you take care of the dragon's Togekiss, but you're not doing anything against anything else. So Bite might be a good choice, and I think Fire Fang would be a good choice. Again, this isn't a Pokemon that you necessarily have to max out right now. Let's wait, but it does have some pretty good niches. What it's weak to is just, honestly, it's Swampert. It's probably going to be kind of common, but I'm not so sure. And then if a Waterfall Gyarados pops up, other than that, it's actually not that bad. Next up's Empoleon, because of its steel typing. There is an electric types, and obviously you wouldn't lead with this. This would be in the back. But fighting and ground are a little bit non-existent. And then of course we have Metal Claw, Hydro Cannon, and you can give it Blizzard. One-hit KO any Dragon or Togekiss. Metal Claw, obviously ripping through Togekiss. It's just the resistances and the fact that Hydro Cannon is a really good move. And here's what I'm thinking. If you go up against a Metagross, it's going to be a really good matchup for you. Hydro Cannon against Metagross is going to be fantastic. Magnezone obviously has Wild Charge, but since it got kind of buffed, it does 100 damage. It only takes 45 energy, but it lowers the defense. So if you have a shield, this might be okay. You also might want to run Waterfall on your Empoleon instead of Metal Claw. Because Waterfall is still going to hurt really bad, especially against a Togekiss matchup still. Waterfall hurts, so I think this Pokemon might have a very good use in this league. Hydreigon, it's a really good Pokemon. It's a beast, right? I know some of us don't have access to this, but this is a really good steel counter. And also, if you give it Dragon Breath, I would probably go Dark Pulse, Flash Cannon. Hear me out on this, because Flash Cannon, if you can charge it up, and your opponent doesn't think it's coming, which they usually don't, and I'll give you an example why, you can one-hit KO Togekiss. Yeah, one-hit KO it. Because, here's why. Let me give you an example. Dragonite, I have Hurricane on my Dragonite. And I charge up a Hurricane against my opponent that has a Togekiss. They don't see it coming. I get Excellent on my Hurricane. It does 80% damage to Togekiss. I end up winning the fight. So, of course I sacrifice my Dragonite in return. You're definitely sacrificing your Hydreigon at the same time. It's not a situation you really want to be in, considering you do 4 times damage against Fairy. You're going to make sure you want to have that Flash Cannon charged up way ahead of time. So just be aware that you could definitely run Bite, Dark Pulse, Dragon Breath, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse. It just depends on how you want to run this Pokemon. But I think you can do really well, especially against Metagross. That's what we're worried about. I think it can hold its own just fine against a Magnezone because of Dark Pulse. It's going to do massive damage. It does fine against, Gyarados, Snorlax. That's fine. It does fine just against it. It does fine against these two. So, it is a good Pokemon. It's just scared like hell from Togekiss. But that's why you build a team comp around it to take care of that to begin with. Same thing with Haxorus. You got to build a team comp around it. But it does have ridiculous moves. Counter, Dragon Tail, Surf, Dragon Claw, and Night Slash. You do Night Slash to cover Metagross. It's fine. You do Surf to cover really anything else. You could use Surf to cover a Togekiss who comes in a bad situation. Rhyperior, Swampert's okay. It could really do pretty good, especially if you get a Fire type too. Counter would probably be the best move to use. I'd use Counter, Night Slash. You could run Dragon Claw. It does hit really hard, but you're not really... You know what? I would stick with Counter, Dragon Claw, Night Slash. That would do just fine. That would do just fine. Because dark moves are doing just fine against the Steel Boys. Neutral damage. It's fine. It's fine. With a chance to boost your attack stat? Guys, your attack stat's already 284. That's insane. And last but not least, Excadrill. We've seen this Pokemon get some success in the Master League as it is right now because of its ground type. Its attack stat, stamina stat's super high. Its defense is pretty low though. It's its moves that really make it kind of decent. I don't know. I don't think this Pokemon is just that good. Mud Slap, Drill Run, and Rock Slide is what you want to run. You could run Iron Head, but Rock Slide pretty much takes care of Togekiss as well. I just don't think Excadrill is going to do as good as Rhyperior, because they're kind of running the same strategy using Mud Slap against the Steel Boys. But the Steel Boys have a defense against Rhyperior, doing super effective damage with those steel moves. So that can be pretty menacing, and that's where Excadrill comes in. So you could definitely make this Pokemon work. We'll have to see again how the meta shapes up and what kind of team compositions we have. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Would you guys think about the different Pokemon off the meta that I mentioned? Do you think some of them have a good chance of actually shaking up the meta? Or do you think there are other Pokemon out there that could do pretty well? Now remember, no legendaries or mythicals, so keep that in mind. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, be a part of the Fitz City fam. That's the way Fitz City, I'm signing off. See you guys in the next Pokemon Go video.